Here's Paul Hamilton. Well, Paul,
Yes, sir.
I want to preface this by it's sort of a thing with me when people talk about best ever game or just like the newest thing is I've never been to such and such an experience. However, last night I think has to rate on a very short list of incredible games in that building. Would you not agree?
Yeah, and I'm with you because it's like, well, the latest game seems like the best ever, and sometimes you forget others. And I think, well, I probably have seen an 8-7 game somewhere along the line here,
Right.
but I don't remember a game where the Sabres had a 3-0 lead and then got outscored 6-1 and then proceeded to outscore the opponent 4-1 to get to 8-7. I don't remember that with how many, well, 5 fighting majors, but for whatever reason, there was a fight with Byram that they didn't give majors. They gave roughing and 10-minute misconducts. And that Byram was like pounding on the guy's head for like, Byram pulled a Hagel.
Byram was the first guy I saw throw his gloves off. He was at like the blue line entering the zone.
This is the beginning.
The first hit of the first big thing of the game when two guys tag team Thompson against the wall. Byram's gloves are like he almost threw them up to the Jumbotron. And it just went
this
barely
was later,
in there.
though. Same guy, but it was later behind the net.
Okay.
And he got the 2 minutes and a
Right.
10.
Right.
And it's like, well, those punches that we were watching didn't count.
Right.
So there's 5 official fights, but there were more.
Yeah.
And 102 minutes in penalties, which should have also been more because Hagel should have been excused from the game. I agree with Lindy Ruff wholeheartedly on
Me
that.
too.
I mean, that's a game misconduct. I'm sorry. That's a major penalty and a game misconduct. But you know what referees do, and we've all seen it. If it's not like if Rob Ray would have done that in his day, he would have gotten like 3 majors, 3 misconducts, and a 10-game suspension. But when a guy who has some offensive talent does it, it's like, well, let's give him a break here. You see all the time where the third man in doesn't get called. They're giving him a break.
Yeah.
So they call a double minor so they don't have to call third man in. And, well, they decided, well, let's not give him a major because then we got to toss him. And then, so you get a double minor. Yes, Buffalo scored in the power play, but this guy also got a goal and an assist later on too, and did get fined the most he could get fined today, $5,000. But that was kind of ridiculous.
Joke.
But yeah, getting back to the original thing, I don't remember a game that was similar to this, and I don't remember a crowd like this since Max Afinogenov and Danny Briere and Drury and Miller and all that group. That's about the last time I heard a crowd like that.
What is it like in that room on a night like last night, Paul? Like how much, because you've been in rooms where this team is, clinched playoff series. So it's important to point out here, the Sabres won a hockey game last night. They haven't won anything really of substance here, but they're having this incredible year. And the players, I think, to a man, from what I heard, I'm just curious to have your firsthand point of view on this, said they really were feeling emotional about the crowd.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, Darlene was pretty frank. He goes, we couldn't have done it without him. I mean, they just got charged up. And even when it was 7-5, it's the let's go Buffalo. I mean, at no point, even when Tampa is running up 6-1, did I hear a boo or anything but encouragement and loud encouragement for the hockey team, because even after the 6-1 happened, you're still talking about a 7-5 game, and there's still half a period left.
Right.
And, the Sabres are still pressuring. They had well over 40 shots, and they're still pressuring. And there's no quitting these guys. We all know that now. I don't know if we could have said that in past years. But there's no quitting these guys, and they just keep coming and coming and coming. And it's like, all right, let us get our offensive chances now, and maybe we can convert on some of them. And that's exactly what they did. And they got the 3 goals in less than 5 minutes. I mean, it was like 440 or 444 or something like that. And, they just keep coming. They don't care. And, again, the power play. It's like we've been talking about this for how long?
4
Yeah,
power
they
play
scored
goals.
a power play goal, but what about the other 3 where they never even got the puck in the zone? And the 5-on-3, which I will give them some grace on because Darlene, who was their quarterback, was sitting in the penalty box for the whole 2-minute 5-on-3. and the guys on the ice, they were lost. They were just trying to force plays because the quarterback wasn't back there. Normally, Thompson would have deferred back to Dahlin, giving him the puck. Whether it would have worked or not, I don't know, but it would have worked a lot better than Thompson trying to force passes through three guys and out. But, all right, you didn't score on the 5-on-3, but then you went 4 for 5 on the power play after that.
And they have finishers. I mean, I think
Yeah.
Structurally, the complaining about the power play has merit. But, I mean, they have guys who can just, like, click. I mean, Doan's goal for 1-0. Right. The hands, not a power play goal, but the hands on Zucker for 2-0 on that Dahlin pass. I mean, they've got goal scorers. Samuelson has become this player, too. Also not a power play example.
And they have a power play goal in 10 out of 13 games. So, but it really is, as I said, they might have 4 power plays, and 3 of them were horrendous, but they did score on the other one.
Did you? I guess maybe I'm just behind a little bit, or maybe you'd agree. I don't think of Tampa Bay as like so goony of a team, but you talked about Lindy after the game, and he was asked about their chasing Dahlin. He said it looked that way, didn't it? Very coolly. It had the look of a game where Tampa Bay just wanted to sort of smack the Sabres around and thought probably there was value in that. We're the boss, who are you? Get out of here. And the Sabres stood up to it. Do you think of the Lightning as like, would it have surprised you that they played like that?
No, not at all.
No.
They lead the league in majors. I mean, every time they play Florida, it's a game like that.
Right.
So they're quite honestly, I really don't think Tampa respects Buffalo yet. Somebody said to me somewhere on one of the shows I've been on, or maybe the post game with Brian, it's like, well, it's kind of surprising they didn't play Vasilevsky in the game that was more important. And I said, do you really think Tampa thought it was an important game? I don't think it's registered yet that the Buffalo Sabres have arrived. Maybe if they look at the standings today, it might register to them. But I just don't think it's because it's been so long where you play the Buffalo Sabres, especially in Buffalo. It's a really easy game. You can take it easy. You can roll your stats up. Yeah, they may come to life at some point, but it's a laugher. And it's been so many years, and I think teams are still trying to get used to that the Buffalo Sabres are different now. And Tampa's like, well, let's try to just run them out of the building. We'll do what other teams do, because other teams try to aggravate Dahlin too, and
Florida
get after him.
Florida's had a thing with a number of guys on Florida.
Yeah, I mean, teams do it. That's what they try to do. I can guarantee you the guy that we spoke with at the end of the first period, Logan Stanley, was taking some notes. He knows that Tampa comes in, and I'll guarantee you this: Tampa will not do exactly what they did yesterday in that game if Stanley's dressed and not injured. Hagel will not do to Dahlin what he did if he has to answer to Stanley. I'll guarantee it. That foolishness will be reduced. I don't know if it'll be gone, but it'll be reduced. Because they got one of the dirtiest players in the National Hockey League in Kucherov.
Yep.
I mean, that guy is just phenomenal hockey player, but he is a punk.
Boy,
And,
Paul,
I mean-
I thought I want to interject here. When the horn blew, it was hard to see what was going on because of the camera angle where the play was happening.
Right.
I saw
it right.
Kucherov. I'm like, somebody should just go get him. Right,
Yep.
Byram, just go get him. Just go cross-check him in the face. Whatever.
He basically swung his stick at whoever it was back there with him, and as the horn was blowing.
He is filthy, that guy, and he's got a temper.
He is. Did you see him after the one-timer? He scores on the one-timer, and he goes over and gets in Luukkonen's face.
He's barking
and
at the
starts
goalie.
talking garbage to him.
Yeah.
That happened after 2 Tampa goals. 7-5 maybe they ended up at the Sabre bench. Bunch of guys after that goal.
Yeah. Do you think Dahlin, I said in the first segment of our show that it might do him well to just sort of go off on someone one of these nights? It doesn't have to be Tampa, but like he does. There's no mystery. He's a great player, right? He's important. He's their captain, right? He's all over the ice. He's also edgy. Like, he antagonizes, like some well-placed chops with the stick. It's not like he's an innocent bystander, but he doesn't engage fully to drop the gloves level. I wonder if
he did with Radish.
Well, right. He was sort of pulled into that, I think. I wonder if he could do himself well to sort of, I don't know, plant a flag, if you know what I mean, in someone's face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's done that once or twice. I like, when Hagel was, what I kind of enjoyed was the team was by him because they were up ice, so nobody really saw it except Luukkonen. Luukkonen's looking straight at it, and it didn't take. He just came right out of the crease, and he was headed for Hagel, and the referee cut him off just before he got there, and by that time Doan had seen it and came back, and jumped in. But I like the fact that Luukkonen said, none of the teammates can see. I can see. I'm going. I got to go help him. And Johansson let it happen. He wasn't coming out of the Tampa crease, which kind of surprised me, because Luukkonen had a purpose when he was coming out. And so he almost got there. So we almost wound up with a goalie fight, too.
All right. Johansson was probably like, man, I want to play. I never get to play. Now I have to go fight. I'll get thrown out automatically. And he ends up giving up 8-7, and both goalies last the duration. Really amazing that was a game that could have happened. And with the stakes.
One thing I'll give Luukkonen credit for, he fought through it. I mean, he was having a rough night. But, in the last 5 minutes, he had to make some saves, and he fought through it. I mean, as the team did. I mean, it wasn't the team's best night. Some guys had some bad nights, but they didn't quit on the game. They fought through it. And it's like, all right, it's not our night, but we got – it's kind of like what you hear coaches say. I've heard Granato say it, and I've heard Lindy Ruff say it. You don't have your A game, but just because you have a B game is no excuse to lose the hockey game. And that's kind of what the Sabres did there. It's like that wasn't their best. They made some turnovers that they've been cleaning up and not making. Ostlund does not make turnovers very often. He had a horrible one that wound up in the net. Yeah. And it wasn't like them, but they found a way to win because they stuck with it. And I would include Luukkonen in there, that it wasn't his night, but he stuck in there.
Just quickly, I also like that Ruff included Ostlund in the postgame on the play that he made, which drew the slashing penalty. Right. Even though that wasn't one of the 8 goals deserved. It was worthy of mention.
Yeah, good in a game like that he didn't get benched for that mistake earlier that cost them a goal on the giveaway, Paul.
Right.
Well, Lindy Ruff is, he knows a lot more about hockey than I do, and he realizes Ostlund is not a turnover machine. I mean, he's good with the puck and everything, and all right, he's human. He turned the puck over once and it wound up in the net. You don't need to tell him. First of all, I'm sure not much was said when he came over. He knows, because he's a very smart hockey player. That's what got him to the National Hockey League at age 21. So it's just, it happened, and you move on.
They have today off because, in my opinion, they should get today off.
It was a scheduled day off, so I'm thinking it probably was the NHL mandated day off. But, especially when you've got 3 games in 4. I mean, a back-to-back, and both were difficult wins. I mean, Nashville was a difficult win in other ways.
Yes, right.
They even if they had lost both games, I think they would have had today off, just because you only have so much energy.
I'm glad you mentioned the Nashville game, because somewhere earlier in our show already today, Paul, I mentioned how it's pretty cool to have back-to-back nights with home games and have the 2 games be, both won in regulation, very different hockey games, right? Mm-hmm. Saturday night was just low event, just sort of wait it out, don't make a mistake kind of thing. And, they built a lead and then sort of, hung on. But it was a very patient game, and you need to know how to win that kind of game. And then last night, I can only imagine how valuable it was for them to learn what kind of drain it can be on you emotionally and physically, to be all that adrenaline, all the fights, all that stuff. Like, I was writing your game story in my head watching the third period while Tampa's up by two different times. Like, Tampa dragged them into the alley, and the Sabres didn't have enough left after the fighting. But they recovered and found their way, And it just is so impressive to win a game in such different ways on back-to-back nights.
Tampa dragged them into the alley and tired themselves out.
Right.
They didn't have the gas to finish the game, where the Sabres did. What I'm interested to see, a much improved San Jose Sharks team comes in tomorrow. This is a very emotional game that they just won. They've beaten Tampa twice now. They just got themselves to first place. They were spent. I mean, Alex Tuck was sitting there waiting for us. We came over. I got there first, and so you're going to stand or you're going to sit? He goes, I don't know. What do you want to do? I go, I didn't play.
Right.
Your choice. He goes, all right, I guess I'll stand. But you could just tell he was spent, and Dahlin looked like he was in a 12-round prize fight. I mean, his face is all swollen and cut open and the whole thing. So after an emotional win like that, I'll be very interested to see how they are tomorrow against San Jose.
Are they getting their reinforcements yet? I mean, you mentioned Stanley. I saw him on the telecast as well, being interviewed. He's here. Are they all here, but they can't work?
All but Schenn are here, and he gets here today, I believe. He's ready to go. I said, do you have any idea how long this visa thing's going to take? He goes, I really don't. I mean, he's ready to go, but he can't even practice. I mean, he's got to skate on his own, and he can't even practice. And I was expecting him to like jump out of the press box onto the ice. Right. He was so ready to play, and watching his new teammates, as you said, get dragged into the fight. And it would have been interesting to see if Pearson, who's a bigger man, and Schenn and Stanley were all in the lineup, if that would have changed the complexion of the game. I don't think Hagel is as brave as he thinks he is if those guys are in the fight. So they're just itching to get out there, and Stanley, I just don't know. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm ready to play.
It's so good to have villains back. Right, like Hagel's at the top of the list now. I'm watching. I watched Detroit a couple of times while I was out sick last week, and I'm ready to go on Alex DeBrincat's face when anybody wants. Like, he's just got one of those mugs that he's gonna score against us in the playoffs, and you're gonna be like, oh, that guy. Like, it's almost Smolinski level face. Like, it's so good to have that all back. Punchable face draft. Like, I've missed it so much.
And Dahlin hates the Red Wings too. He was talking about Raymond, his boy from Sweden, who played really well, and he goes, "Oh, if we played Detroit, I love that. Yes, let's play Detroit in the playoffs, and I want to beat Raymond so bad, and I hate Detroit." Yeah, I mean he's like fired up. It's like, let's start the series tomorrow type of a thing. So I don't think Dahlin would mind if the Red Wings were the opponent either.
But Tampa's on its own tier for me right now as a rival. You know, like there are players and there's history. Sabres have no playoff history with the Lightning or the Red Wings, as it happens. But I think they're on their own level, Paul, as like after last night, the hated rival.
Well, Lindy Ruff, I don't know, a couple months ago, he was at the podium. We were talking about villains or whatever, and we were talking about the Bruins series where Lindy Ruff was centering a line with Larry Playfair and Val James against the Bruins, like Bruce Shoebottom, and I think Miller might have been a part of that, and whoever.
Lord. Right.
You know,
Lyndon Byers, probably.
Yeah,
right?
And it was like one fight after another. And but Lindy Ruff was centering Larry Playfair and Val James. That was a line for the playoffs.
Special
occasion, different time. Yeah, right.
Larry at wing. They might have gone. They should have gone further with that. Larry at wing. All right. Well, we'll wait for updates on the new guys. I think this is the kind of the time of year when you mix them all in, right? I mean, they're not all going to play every game, but maybe this team's close to exhausted after the weekend.
Well, I think what's going to happen is Metza goes back as the captain of Rochester. Schenn is your number 7. Stanley steps in as your number 6.
Right.
Plays with Kesselring, and Schenn, if you like, he would definitely be dressed for the Tampa Bay game. I'll guarantee that.
Kesselring had a night. With 81. They couldn't quit each other.
He wasn't going to be denied because he was denied right before the period ended, so it took 2 seconds for them to start tangling, when the period started. So it's like, okay, let's get out there. He probably told Lindy, start me. Lindy, okay.
And he got him to the ground.
Yeah.
Cernak.
Yeah.
He got him to the ground.
Right. It was
And then Mallenstein, Corey Perry's no shrinking violet.
No, that's
Mallenstein
right.
took him out.
Welcome back, Corey Perry. I didn't think he'd get traded because LA, he was sort of on the fence there. I loved him as an idea for the Sabres to see him back on that team again, where he won with them maybe the second of their cups in a row. I can't remember, but he was definitely on Tampa at some point in that run. Maybe he got there even after it. Anyways, what a perfect guy to have thrown into the rivalry is Corey Perry. I mean, it's just like out of central cast.
And you guys saw it, the slow motion on that, the end of that fight. Mallenstein gets him, and then he goes for one more, and he just misses. Like Perry is already falling,
Right.
and there's a punch that just goes right by his face that could have been
Really
pretty
damaging.
pretty
Yeah.
brutal.
Well, just to be clear, Paul, we don't know if there's a chance that the visa thing is it just one of these things that'll happen one day. We just don't know when.
Yeah. It could be solved today.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, they may be a practice tomorrow. We don't know. I mean, whenever it's solved, it's solved. I have no idea, how that's going to work. So it just when it takes whatever, it takes its time and takes its time. I remember Dan Dunleavy had to go to Montreal, I believe it was, and sit there for like a week to get his, and he had to pay for his hotel and everything, and it took a week for him to get his, and he had to actually go to Montreal to do it. So it's goofy how that works.
Paul, thanks.
Yep.
Great night.
There you go. There's our Paul Hamilton on the Wester Hotline. His appearances are brought to you by Relax Honda. Relax, we got this.
Shouldn't the Sabres know somebody, though?
I know they're just hockey players. Like, what are we
Shouldn't
doing
they,
here?
Shouldn't they just know somebody that could
Okay, you
expedite?
just rubber stamp that stuff. What are we doing here?